Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand up.
Okay, legends, welcome back to the channel with another Street Fighter Duel video. And finally, we got a new decent carry as an option for you to summon, actually not to wail on, which is free to play friendly or player friendly, because it's not an event or a limited character that is only limited through events. She will be here forever, which is Shadaloo Cammy. Absolutely fantastic. Now, if you want to look at the history of the characters that we got, let's go to the gallery and check them out. So lately, we've been getting the TMNT. Of course, we have Leonardo as a carry. We have a semi-carry as Raphael. We have Luke and we have JP. These are all limited and the event has passed and we can't obtain them by summoning anymore. Maybe you can upgrade them only by Arclight or by Starlight. And we have, again, we got another character which is also limited, which is a legendary one. Yeah, where is he? Here we go, Shredder. So we have Shredder, which of course free-to-play can't have. Also paywalled, and you can't have unless you pay money. Now, if you're free-to-play or low spender that does not spend like $50 per month or whatever, you spend like $1 or $2, maybe $5 sometimes. If you like something, you might not be considering buying any of these legendaries unless it's, let's say, Flame Chun. And now we get a character that you can absolutely go and summon with these tickets, and she will be here forever because she's a character that is not limited, or she's not a collab character. Only collab characters that you can not summon from here. Is she good? She's absolutely good. She's a carry, she's a damage dealer, she's more for a bosser and an assist, more into a team. She buffs your team as well. We'll be talking about her in general, but she has a small downside, which is her AoE is so small. I hope they fix it. They give her a buff and it becomes like Oni. If you have Oni, he performs better as an AoE character that hits everybody across the board. There's a condition that you can play with her and she might be actually good, which is playing her with B. Zangief, with Overlord Bison, with Seth, maybe the C2 of Leonardo, because he goes and push everybody to the end of the screen and gather them all together so she can hit them with her AoE. Other than that, we're gonna go and do the testing and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about, but I'm so hyped about her. I love her. I love Cammy anyway, and she's a high massive damage dealer. She can potentially one-shot an entire lineup if you can put them all together in a small area. But if you can't, she might one-shot one unit or two units, the tank and somebody behind it, depending on the way that they are positioned. So let's go and talk about Cammy. Absolutely a huge update. I love this one. I love Cammy and anyway because she's really one of my favorite characters or fighters in Street Fighter Duel or in Street Fighter genre anyway. And now we have Shadaloo Cammy, the evil one, the one that is under control of Bison himself. She's Shadaloo Cammy. She's infernal. She's agility. It means she has high dodge rate and she has high crit rate and crit damage. And she's an assassin as well because she assassinates everybody. So she gets the buffs of an assassin class and she gets the attack because she's from an attacking class. Now, she goes with her super and her C3. All of them are AoE. Even her C1 is AoE, but her C1 is a little bit kind of buffy on the lineup. We're gonna talk about it and explain everything. And her cars makes her a buffer on top of being a damage dealer as a carry. Let's start with her passive. So her passive, Shadow Assassin. Shadow Assassin's attack have a 20% chance of inflicting weaken, and 20% to inflict bleed, and 20% to inflict a grave injury, and 20% chance of increasing damage received by the target by 5%. So you can increase that to the enemies as well. Each effect stacks up to 5 times and lasts for 15 seconds. If you are lucky, and that's super RNG, every debuff that she does is really great. The most thing that you care about when it's for bossing, which are increasing the damage received by the target by 5%, and you can stack it up to 5 times. It means you can go with 25% on damage bonus on that boss, which is absolutely huge if you can get lucky and stack it back to back. And she can do that with her super and her C3 if you're playing that, or even if you're playing only the C1, she might do it with the C1, which is huge because this is her passive. Now, this effect does not require the passive skill to be unlocked. We don't care about that. You're gonna unlock it anyway when you play. On level 2, upon unleashing a skill that involves Shadow Assassin, Shadaloo Cammy gains 100% effect resistance for 3 seconds, which means she will not get stunned 100% unless they have something like effect accuracy that counters that one. On 100%, that would be 0, and it will be 50-50 coin flip for you and them. Upon unleashing a skill that involves Shadow Assassin, Shadaloo Cammy gains 50% damage reduction for 3 seconds. Also, she gains a damage reduction. It means even if you're trying to stun her and she doesn't get stunned, if you hit her, she will get 50% of the damage you receive, which is huge for survivability, which makes her a good unit in PvP. But this is only for 3 seconds. Sometimes the window of how the units are going. Let's say she's fighting somebody like Visconti Vega. He hits her with his C3. She have 50% reduction on herself. She doesn't take the full blow and she will not die immediately, which is huge. But let's say that she procced this one when he did his super and she got the 3 seconds. The 3 seconds were off, and until you went with Beat Zangief and Athlete Chun-Li using her C1, or anybody who uses her C1 and anybody with the C2, when he reaches his C3, she might not trigger this again, and he might one-shot her because she will get the reduction as soon as he hits her with the super. So it's a way to play around it. You might need to find a team with stunning maybe or something like that. We can be talking about everything about her. She's one of the speediest characters, so probably on a lineup, if you play her, she might outspeed your enemies. Upon unleashing a skill that involves Shadow Assassin, Shadaloo Cammy gains 5% increase in crit damage for 15 seconds, stacks up to 5 times. This is huge. Crit damage is everything that you want. It's better than having crit rate. Everything buffs you with crit rate. Almost every character that we have can crit, but if you increase the crit damage, you'll deal extra damages, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, when you get her EX at level 3, upon unleashing a skill that involves Shadow Assassin, Shadaloo Cammy gains 5% increase in attack for 15 seconds and stacks up to 5 times. This is so big as well, 25% in attack. That makes her almost one-shotting anything. In story mode, she would help you a lot. In towers, she would help you a lot. You need to keep her surviving a little bit, and she has survivability kit on herself. We'll be talking about that as well. Let's talk about her super. So it's an AoE Shadow Spiral Arrow. Launch a drill kick at the current target, dealing soul damage equal to 265% of attack to enemies in an area, and this is a small area, by the way. Simultaneously, Shadow Assassin will launch a spinning kick from behind the target, dealing soul damage equal to 245%. So you can complete it all at almost at 500%. We're gonna explain more because it will increase these damages to all targets in its path. When this skill ends, this fighter gains 1 kinetic, which is absolutely huge. We're gonna talk about this buff. This buff is really, really great because it buffs many things. We'll be talking about it. So, increase the fighter's damage to 325% of attack and damage to 275% of attack after she does the spin kick from behind them. Unleashing this skill increases the fighter's soul damage by 5%, so she buffs her soul damages, and everything she does is soul damage until the end of the battle, almost like a true damage, if we can say that, stacking up to 60%. This is the biggest one that will make her a really, really hard bossing unit. You will find her as a meta in bossing soon, because the 60% this is the only thing that you need to focus on. This 60% as soul damage buff increase, it's better than the only damages that he does on himself or with himself and buffs himself. This makes her better bosser as a single target hitter or a bossing hitter unit than Oni. I'll be talking why I'm talking about Oni too much in the end. Now, kinetic increase combo damage by 5% for 20 seconds, stacks up to 6 times. It means 30% increase, stacks up to 6 times, and you're gonna have it until the end of the battle. That's a 20-second window. It means you're gonna go back to back with full combo meter and deal as much damages to the bosses. It means for bossing, this is absolutely huge. Now let's talk about her first skill, and it's also AoE, Psycho Smash. So charge up and perform an axe kick, granting this fighter 1 kinetic and dealing soul damage equal to 533% of attack to enemies in a small area. I tried this damage. This damage looks good, but it's not the main thing that you want to go with. Increase damage to 633% of attack, recover 100 super combo gauge after unleashing this skill. So if you find yourself that you're gonna do a super combo on a boss, and after that you can't perform any super combo anyway because you don't have the combo meter, or you need a little bit of combo meter, you can use her C1 with using other skills or other fighters, and then buff yourself with a little bit of combo meter so you can perform one last combo rotation before the fight ends, which is really good, can come in handy and clutch sometimes. Increase the damage to 733% of attack, which is also nice. Her C3, Shadow Drill, leap up and launch a spiral kick or spiral attack, dealing soul damage equal to 262% of attack to enemies in small area. Again, it's all small area. This is why you need to gather them so you can deal the most damages if you're playing in PvP or if you're playing in story mode or tower. Simultaneously, Shadow Assassin will launch, which is her passive, will launch an attack that deals soul damage equal to 242% of attack to targets in a small area as well. So this is a double one. She will always do her passive after she does her C3 or her C2 or her super. I think her C3 is the most one that she gonna be consistent with, and you're gonna deal this extra damage from her passive, which is huge. Upon reaching 6 kinetic, expend all of them to all of the stacks to strengthen this skill. So she buffs this skill, but she removes all her kinetic from herself. Okay, you need to keep that in mind. So you need to reaccumulate them all. Increasing the number of Shadow Assassin to 4 and combo damage by 30% for 20 seconds. Now, what do you mean by 4? It means instead of hitting one Shadow Assassin with her passive, she hits 4 at the same time, which means a high number. And with her crit rate and crit damage going up and up and up, with her buffing herself, she will absolutely deal great amount of numbers. I can see her as a meta character for bossing. We still need to test her. Maybe she fails because we flopped on different characters because they didn't work. On paper, they sounded so good. I still didn't test her completely. I just tested her on trials. This effect does not require the skill to be unlocked. Again, we don't care. We're gonna unlock the skill anyway. Increase the fighter damage to 277 and Shadow Assassin 257. Gain 50% crit rate. This is what I'm talking about, that she does not need crit rate. This is why crit damage is the most important thing. If you can buff her with crit damage as well, like playing somebody like Diviner Rose on plus 30 on her exclusive, that would be awesome for her. And ignore 25% of the defense while unleashing a strengthened Shadow Drill, which means strengthened Shadow Drill. It means when she attacks and she procs her passive with it, it will ignore the defenses and buff herself with crit rate. For the next rotation, you're gonna deal massive damages. Increase this fighter damage to 290, almost 300% of attack, and Shadow Assassin damage to 272% of attack. This is really good. I think this is a decent character for bossing especially. Let's talk about her EX, and basically her exclusive is one of the best assist exclusive in the entire game. We'll be talking about why she provides even more than what we anticipated, or better than other EX units. So at plus 40 she goes to 20 speed, at plus 30 she goes to 12 speed. So if you want to build her to plus 40, and she has a good base speed. I forgot how much it goes to, it's 262 with fast chant goes 282, and here 20, so it goes or 182, and it goes to 202 with her speed at plus 40, which makes her one of the top speediest characters. I don't know if she becomes the speediest, I don't think so, but it's one of the speediest ones. Okay, so her crit damage is buffed, her attack is buffed, which we want a lot on her. HP is decent. I would take damage reduction here more, but HP is really good. Upon entering the battle, she gained 1 kinetic and 10% increase in dodge, so she can dodge if they have low pressure, which is huge. Okay, now her assist. When the assisted fighters receive a blow or a finishing blow or a fatal blow at the first time, they will gain damage immunity for 3 seconds, which is also good. 3 seconds is good, is a good window. And 12% increase in lifesteal, so they can go and heal up back if they go and perform any kind of attack. Until the end of the battle, this lifesteal will stay, okay? Which is perfect for them. And recover 300 super combo gauge. So if you're gonna die on a unit and she's assisting that, you're gonna get a 300% in combo meter, and you're gonna keep surviving. So this unit is perfect for bossing. If you didn't build her, or for characters for bossing, if you didn't build her completely and max her out, and you want to play a unit and this unit is dying consistently on bosses, now you can play Donatello with his assist, and you can play her with her assist, or Virgil with his assist, or Bison with his assist. All of them can keep your lineups surviving. So now you have more options for you to use on these lineups, and her assist is actually better because she will give you combo meter. It means you can go with one more rotation and dealing more damages, plus life steal, so you can heal up back if the boss does not kill you with his second ultimate. His third ultimate probably will heal you, will kill you, but you will gonna gain this time to heal back up and deal the damages that you want. This is why her assist is top tier, absolutely. Now at level 10, upon entering the battle, she gets 2 stack of kinetic and a 20 increase in dodge. at plus 20 upon inflicting weaken, bleed, or grave injury, which she will do with her super. Dispel one debuff from herself, which is great from this fighter. It means she's gonna cleanse herself from whatever she has. At level 30, gain 50% increase in crit damage while unleashing Strengthened Shadow Drill, which is her ultimate or her C3 when the passive procs on it, which is great. We want more crit damage. This is why I was talking about crit damage. Now her cars, and here where she shines actually, because her cars makes her a team player as well. So Shadaloo Spiral Arrow Soul damage buff now applies to all friendly fighters. Every 8 seconds during the battle, they gain 1 kinetic. And you can't dispel that, or they can't remove it from themselves. They're gonna stack it up to the maximum stacks, and they're gonna deal extra soul damage because they will be having the soul damage buff. And now she becomes a major buffer with the 3 cars. This is the 3 cars absolutely insane on her. And 6 stars is 6 cars is absolutely great on herself as well, not only for the team, because she will survive upon receiving fatal blow. So upon receiving a finishing blow for the first time, this fighter will gain damage immunity for 3 seconds, 12% increase in lifesteal until the end of the battle, and she gets 6 kinetic immediately and recover 300 combo meter gauge, which will make her a great bossing unit. This is why I was talking that she's great in bossing. She will do well. I can see it. I know that she does well. She's absolutely huge with that. Now, who's the best characters to play with her? Beast Zangief, Seth, maybe Overlord Bison, any unit that can group the enemies together so you can deal the AoE damage to them, because the AoE damage area for her is super slow. Let me show you what I mean by her damages is slow. So I saw that here is Beast Zangief. Let's try it without using him. On the lineup, we have Beast Zangief here, let's say. So we're gonna put a lineup that is speedy but with no Beast Zangief, okay? And without Bison, because he will push them back up and it will mess our plan. I just want to show you how it works. So I'm gonna show you the AoE how it does, and without it how you perform worse than what you have. So let's go. So here we go. We're gonna start first. Our lineup is way faster than their lineup. So here you see there's the tank, and there's behind the tank we have Cammy. So we're gonna do the C2. And they're together. Okay, and here we go. C3, and she hit only 2 targets. The third target is not hit. Okay, let's go and try it with Beast Zangief right now and check if we group them, could they all take damage, or is it strictly for only 2 units? But I'm telling you from now, I did test it, and when you group them all together, absolutely you're gonna go and destroy them. So we're gonna go and start, and here we go. That's the first hit, second hit, and we're gonna group them all, and her third skill, we hit everybody. We even killed Poison, which the one that was not dying when we were going after her. So grouping your enemies is something that you want with her, or actually you're not gonna deal that much damages. So if we're gonna go super C1, C2, he will kick him back. Okay, he survived, and her C3 absolutely destroys anyone because she got all the buffs and the kinetic. As you see, the kinetic faded away from her. This is for Shadaloo Cammy. Am I hyped for her? Yes. Is she a summon priority? If you're working on a unit, like myself, right? I'm working on a unit or 2 different. Let's say I'm working on Royal Barlow, which I don't need actually. I'm not working on him, but because I summoned what they gave us for free, and I was lucky to get him back to back, like 6 times or 4 times. Let's say I want to continue working on him, because I want to get the triple S, I want to get the 5 levels, because I'm free to play. Now, if you're a spender or low spender, or maybe a whale, you don't care about that. But if you're working on another unit, if you're working on Visconde Vega, absolutely continue him. Forget about her right now. Overlord Bison is a priority. Again, Rich Honda is a priority. If you're working on Eva Ryu, if you're working on Goken and Summer Elena, even if you are working on Oni, you're halfway there. Continue Oni. She does exactly what he does, but she ramps up in the future more. In story, you're not gonna have that much of a time unless you're struggling and your teams are weak. You need time. You need to keep stunning them to deal damages. She deals insanely good amount of damage, but it's similar to Oni. Oni does the same, but on the long term in the fights, she will be outshining him with her damages. So is it wise to go and drop anything and summon for her? I wouldn't say it is wise, unless you're playing for fun and you don't care about any unit that you're building. You want to build her, so continue and do that. Let me put Gogen back, because I'm thinking about finishing him or building him at least. And yeah, so that's basically it for Shadaloo Cammy. Let's go and talk about her EX before I forget. So we have her new EX here, and here her EX. Let me find it. Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. And I want to summon for her EX. So basically we're gonna get it and we're gonna talk about it after I get one copy of it. So 1, 2, come on. That shouldn't be that hard, okay? Here we go. We immediately got it. That's lucky because before I did like 20 summons to get the one before that, and this is like 10 summons and we got her. Perfect, 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 perfect. Okay, okay. And learning. Wow. This is the first time I get it before I go and absolutely drain myself from everything else. You might say this is lucky. Okay, here we upgrade it. Perfect. Let's talk about the skill. So this one gives you speed. So it's another EX or another exclusive or EX move that gives you speed, which is huge. Because at level, we're gonna upgrade it to 1 star. At 1 star, you unlock the speed. At 3 stars is the pivotal point to get to the 6 speed, which will make you more competitive. People go to 3 stars because it's the easier. You need maybe 4 copies or 3 more copies for you to get it to 3 stars or to 2 stars, I think. So here we go. Shadow Assassin performs 4 strikes that each deal soul damage equal to 120% of it to the highest attack among the deployed fighters. So it picks 1, not the total power of your team. Shadow Assassin attack have a 20% chance of inflicting 1 weaken, 20% bleed and grave injury, and 20% to do damage in extra damage to the enemy by 5%, and it stacks for 5 times and lasts for 15 seconds. Also grants a crown status to the fighter with the highest crit damage, which is her basically, if you're playing her, increasing their crit rate by 12% and their crit damage by 24% until the end of the battle. So you don't even need to use it only on her. You can use it on any carry on the lineup, which this is a huge buff. Immediately you start the battle, you click this one, you have crit rate by 12%, crit damage by 24% until the end of the battle. This is one of the craziest EX now that you can add with Akuma, or you don't need to play the Mad Ryu EX, the one with the Raging Eye, to increase your crit damage and crit rate. You're gonna get crit damage and crit rate anyway anymore. And you can use it with it, it will stack up and buff. This effect cannot stack, also grants all friendly fighters 1 kinetic. Shadaloo Cammy gains an additional kinetic, so absolutely huge. You're gonna get this 5% extra of your attack, which is really huge. Upgrade, okay, at 1 star it upgrades it and gives you lifesteal, 12% additionally to that. At 2 stars, increase the soul damage that you get, increases the number of strikes to 8. At 4 stars, all friendly fighters gain 2 kinetic, and at 5 stars, doubles the effect of crown. It means 24% crit rate, I think, and 48% crit damage, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that's it. 24% crit rate and 48% crit damage, which is absolutely huge for her. Yeah, that was basically it for Shadaloo Cammy. She's a great unit. She's a solid unit. She's good everywhere. In PvP, I would say she's 3 to 4 in that range out of 5. In PvE and story, she's like 2 to 2.5, because in PvP and in PvE story mode and tower, you need to group those enemies together, and she can survive for 1 time, but you need to group them, and it's really hard if you're playing Zangief on a different lineup. Still, she works fine. For bossing, I think she's a 5 out of 5. She will be one of the top bossing units. She might even replace Visconti Vega with the damages, because she does more damage immediately and increasing damage and soul damage, and he needs time to ramp up with his bleed. Sometimes the damages of the bleed does not ramp up so quickly. I think she would replace him. Actually, she would be the 4th lineup. So we have the Turtles and we have Fire Aidon. These are 2 best lineups. Overlord Bison, if you compare her up with him, she might be one of these lineups. We have JP playing with Overlord Bison. We've seen a lot of players playing him now. And we have the Visconti Vega lineup, which is Visconti Vega needs somebody actually to help him on the lineup. You might pair her up with him, start with her super or end with her... No, start with her super, end with his C3 or something like that. We need to test her a lot, but I think she will find a lineup as the 3rd or 2nd best bossing unit in the game after Fire Aidon. I think that would be the case, unless the TMNT still do better than her. And yeah, that was it for the video. I'll be seeing you in the next one.
Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up.